Hello, people. Andrew here, talking about comics from a reader, collector, speculator, investor point of view, in that order of importance to myself. And today I'm talking about a DC comic series called Primal Force. And it ran from 1994 to 1995. There were 15 issues in all, starting with issue number 0 and going all the way to issue number 14. So, and it was written by, I just want to get his name right, Steven Seagal. And artwork was split between Ken Hooper and Nick Choles. And the artwork was fine. So just off the bat, not spectacular in any way, shape, or form. I'm not as familiar with these particular artists. Ken Hooper, I think I've seen some of his stuff, but not so much Nick Choles. What's it about? All right, so there's this group of men called the Laymen, and that's Ley, laymen, because they are attuned to the ley lines of the earth. They are gathered together during a time of crisis when the ley lines are threatened, or when somebody threatens to use the ley lines for menacing purposes. Such a time has happened, and they are gathered together. There is a problem, though, is that it's been a while since they have gone together, so most of the, if not, well, most other than the immortal Dr. Mist, um, they've gotten older, and they say, no, we can't, we can't handle this new threat. You need a new group of laymen to handle a super-powered threat. So they turn in their medallions, and a new group of laymen is drawn from the earth. The earth summons them, and these are the 5 that respond. And the 5 that respond to this particular challenge are characters from the DC universe that are little known, if known at all. I think the most popular one of the bunch is the Red Tornado. But you also have Claw, or version of Claw, the Unconquered, from the 70s. A character called the Golem, who showed up in Ragman, miniseries Ragman. A character called Jack-O-Lantern, who I know nothing about. And a brand new character by the name of Meridian, which was a little bit of a surprise to Dr. Mist, because she is not a he. And it's supposed to be the layman, but times change, and I'm happy with that. That's a small part of the storyline near the beginning, but it adds to the flavor of the book. So they're gathered together to deal with a menace. So, just is this worth a read? And I say it like that because first there's an explanation of sort of the plot line. Now, the plot line is a band of heroes gathers together to combat a menace that no singular hero can defeat. And I've heard that plot before, and I've read that plot before, and that plot's common throughout a lot of team books where they're drawn together to face a common menace. So that's nothing. That's nothing new. It's in the execution of that particular plot, and so is this story worth the read based on that? And the answer is yes. And then again, it's not even so much about the story itself. That's the thread that propels the story forward, that moves these things forward. They're trying to defeat Cataclysm. But it's more about the characters themselves. And because we don't know these characters, the writer has a little bit of a freedom to sort of create these characters and their attitudes and ideas. And they're all relatively novice, other than Red Tornado, when it comes down to being a hero or heroic. So there's a learning period happening there as well. I really liked the characterization within this particular series, not just as the individuals developed, which was fun in itself, but also within the team itself, various interactions, Jack-O-Lantern and Red Tornado, Meridian and Claw, the Golem and Red Tornado, and Jack-O-Lantern and Claw. And other team ups and interactions as well, and then collectively as a team, how well do they work as a team, and what are the highs and the lows, and their strengths and weaknesses, and their successes and failures, and it all works really well together because the characters become people that you care about and you want to read about. I looked forward to every issue to see what new development would happen. No singular character takes dominance over the book. You may find yourself looking at this one as being your favorite of the bunch, but I found that I was interested in pretty much all of their storylines and all of their development. So yes, I do recommend it because of that. The only regret, of course, is that it only went to issue number 14, and then it was canceled due to poor sales. So the chances of me ever seeing this group of five characters together is unlikely. Someone may in the future decide, oh, I liked the idea of the laymen and the medallions and gathering them a group of heroes together, but I doubt very much that it'll be this group of five characters. I mean, five different, maybe one or two of them might show up again, but time has lapsed, and there'll be different characters to brought in, and even if it was the same characters, they have gone through changes throughout time. They're no longer the young group of heroes that they are in this particular series. So I do like the series. I do recommend the series. So it's definitely worth reading. I'm just going to go through the covers because there's only 15 of them. So this is issue 0. This happened after 0 Hour. I'm not quite sure exactly what the 0 Hour miniseries was about. I'm going to have to reread it again. It's not referenced in this particular book at all. It had no bearing on my enjoyment of this series. I don't think it would have added anything different to my knowledge of what's going on. But it is one of those 0 issues that started after 0 Hour. That's why it's got an issue number 0. And there you see the team on the front. So the question becomes, speculation and investment. Well, first of all, collecting. So collecting. Very easy to collect this series. It's only 15 issues long, and it's still dollar bin material. If you can find it in the dollar bin, lucky you. As I said, there's only the 15 issues of it. There are other characters. I mean, Red Tornado is probably the most recognizable, and there would be Red Tornado fans, and they would possibly pick it up just to read further adventures of him. He's an interesting character in here. I don't know about some of the other ones. There might be a fan of Claw, but I don't know about Gollum, Jack-o'-lantern. I don't know anything about him. That was issue number 1. Here's the big bad himself, Cataclysm. As far as new characters being introduced and what have you, Meridian is a new character. She shows up in issue number 0. I don't know if she's gone on to be featured in any other books. It looks like she was primarily created for this particular series. But I thought the same thing about Gollum. I thought the Gollum was just created for the Ragman series, and here he was actually a full-fledged character within Primal Force. Nice cover of Claw here. There are one or two other reasons to pick up this book and like to add to other collections, and we'll get to those in a minute or two. But as far as speculation and investment is concerned, there's no reason to invest in this particular book because, as I say, you can buy all of these things in the dollar book, and absolutely nobody's looking into the series. You might want to speculate, though, and get yourself a copy of issue number 0, because that is the first formation of this team, and it also has the first appearance of Meridian. But beyond that, I don't see any reason why you would want to put that kind of money into this series, because, as I say, it's only they're dollar bin books. But I enjoyed the series, and I do recommend the series. As I said, good character study, good interaction between characters. Here's one of these other books that I say would be part of a collection because you get a chance to look at some other heroes that show up here. Hawkman, Superman, Wonder Woman's in here. But although I will mention that even though these characters do appear in this particular book, they don't team up with Primal Force. It's more of a history lesson for Jack-o'-lantern about what it takes to be a hero. As far as which character I think developed the most, it's interesting that up here you've got Gollum, who went through some changes. Red Tornado was a quirky little character, and I liked his development. Jack O' Lantern was the hero, unsure of himself, but committed to doing good. I did enjoy all of it. As I said, I'm just going to show you the covers here. I've only got a couple to go. My biggest regret, as I say, is that the series itself only lasted for 15 issues. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that there's a couple of other laymen that show up in the series as well. Black Condor is one of them, so he may be another reason people collect for Black Condor. I think this is a Kelly Jones cover. I think maybe not, but as I said, I enjoyed the series. I've read it a couple of times now. This year alone, I picked up the final issue, so I reread the whole thing because I finally got the last issue. Is it a good wrap up in the end? I mean, sometimes stories stumble near the ending. I've heard that writers are much better at beginning things than ending things because they begin so many books as opposed to ending them. Or in this case of a storyline, they begin so many storylines and they don't have as many endings. But this is a satisfactory ending. Again, it ties in at one point in time with this series goal called Underworld that was going on at DC at the time. I don't know much about that cross book event that happened. But if you're looking for all Underworld books, there would be a couple here in the Primal Force. And this would be the final issue number 14. So, yeah, I recommend it. I think it's a good series to read. It's more about character than anything else, and they are interesting characters. And it's an inexpensive book to get. You can get pretty much all 15 issues in the dollar bin. I would speculate on getting issue 0. And I know there are some people that like to collect issue 1s, so that might be get 0 and issue number 1. Again, very, very low cost. I wouldn't have these books graded. I would just look for high quality. All of these books are in top shape, and again, they cost me no less than or no more than $1. So that's it for today about Primal Force. I hope you get a chance to find them in your hunt and get a chance to read it. As I said, good read. But that's it for today. So we'll see you again later, people.